I'm Colton Sutley with my co-host Tim Friedhaber, and this is a episode of the Caution Free podcast. Today we don't have a guest, and Tim does not have a camera, so you're just gonna be able to see my beautiful face, my face that's meant for radio. But today we're just gonna talk about like some of the races we've been to this year, and some of the track bucket list tracks that I've been to the past month or so, and just kind of talk about some stuff going on in the racing world. So, Tim, first off, how do you enjoy the Commonwealth Clash? I guess this is about exactly a month ago since the final night of the Clash.
Yeah, it was interesting. A lot of good cars. Damn, that was so long ago that I'm like, it's already swiped out of my mind. Track was pretty hooked up the first night, a little looser the second night. Um, yeah, Cy Lynch made two really good runs, came up short. Tyler Courtney made two really good runs, didn't come up short. Corey
On one
Day,
on one night, he didn't come up
yeah,
short.
yeah, he
Yeah.
made the top three both nights. No, he
Did
didn't.
he
No, no,
finish?
no.
I think he was fourth. He was either third or fourth the first night.
Okay, either way.
But yeah, either way.
Corey Day probably would have lapped the entire track if his rear end hadn't have broken half.
I,
Because
I don't even think he lapped any cars quite yet when that
no,
happened.
but
You know, he was on rails.
he was half a track in front of whoever was behind him.
Yeah, that is actually true because like Courtney and Cy and I think I forget who
No, it was James McFadden
J-
was Brent Marks
up
was
there.
directly behind him.
Oh yeah, Marks, Courtney, and Cy, they were all like behind him, and they were like all down and like on the front stretch and like turn four, and well, actually, even before Corey Day flipped, when Justin Peck flipped before the caution before that, I thought it was Corey Day with how he was ripping the high side and having a massive lead. It's like he's gonna step on it, possibly. He just the looking like Kyle Larson out there when Larson steps on it in the NASCAR race. So, and
Hey, you know
he
what?
wasn't, I couldn't see him both times. So I'm like, is it Corey? I thought it was Corey Day both times, but it was
Well,
only the second time.
he didn't step on it. His car stepped on it.
Well,
Who
he
his
might have.
crewman stepped on it. He probably got a nice talking to.
Nah, I don't, well, no, because like the axle broke. It wasn't so much like the wheel just coming off. It was like the axle actually broke. So it was just kind of, I think somebody said they heard it like snap or something like that corner before or
Well,
something.
he was banging it off the cushion in turn four every single time, so I'm not surprised that it broke.
Well, see, now you're blaming the crew guy, and it's the cushion's fault. Like not the crew. Don't be blaming the crew guy. I mean, come on.
Hey man, someone didn't change it when they were supposed to.
Well, it was probably perfectly fine until that. I don't get it. Lernerville gets a massive cushion when they have like the touring series there, like the Silver Cup this year, the Clash, and then the Flow Night in America series. They both had massive cushions, especially the Flow Night in America series. That night, dude, that was like a foot high. It was nuts.
Is that a cushion or a curb at that point? Because I would probably call that a curb at that point. The Cali boys would call it a curb.
Well, they also would call it a cushion. It's interchangeable, like it's a cushion that's turned into, it's like like a square and a rectangle. One can be the other one, but the other one can't be, like, you know what I mean? Like a rectangle is a
Yeah,
square, but a
I know what you mean. I
square
know
isn't
what
a
you mean.
rectangle. That kind of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, other than Corey Day, there wasn't any like catastrophic wrecks other than Rico
Justin
parked.
Peck.
Yeah, he did wreck pretty good. Rico
Uh,
backed it into
oh,
somebody.
lucky he didn't catch on fire. Like, so lucky. I mean, that could have been really bad if you really think about it, which I'm
Yeah,
sure people probably don't even remember. But like he was like leaking gas like the whole way around the
Mm-hmm.
track, and
Into the
it could
pits.
have, yeah, if that stuff hit the headers, that could have been really bad. But luckily, it wasn't bad. And yeah, speaking of some nasty wrecks, did you see at Williams Grove um for the National Open weekend, which I went to the National Open night, but the night before during heat races, I want to believe, yeah, heat race, Zach Hampton went turn over the
Yeah, it
wall in
ended
turn
up in
one
the
and two.
parking lot.
No, no, no. You're thinking of Gio Salzi that almost landed in the parking lot. Zach Hampton went over the uh side where there's actually nothing behind it, but it's a pretty big drop off. But he went over night one over there, and then in night two during hot laps, he bicycled it in the same spot and went over the fence in the same spot again. And that, but
Pulling it up right now.
yeah, I mean, if you want, you can share the screen and you know show everybody how nasty it. Well, one of them. I mean, they both pretty much looked exactly the same. Just one was by himself, and the other one had some cars kind of near him.
Yeah, yeah, here's the aftermath of it. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, and then this is the video I was trying to pull up. Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's
that was on. That looks like that was on night two during hot
yeah,
laps because night one he had Brandon Spithaler was like right in front of him and he bicycled it some too, but like he didn't go for a ride. But you did mention Gio Salzi's flip where he almost went to the parking lot down in turns three and four. Now I was down in one and two when that happened, and actually when Zach Hampton flipped that second time, I was down in turn three, so I didn't get any of those on footage, but still they were both pretty nasty. Luckily Gio's he didn't have a pool go through his car or nothing, and he didn't end up in the parking lot, which I guess he was pretty close, I guess. I didn't go down towards that end of the track, but that was pretty good flip. Um, Speaking of Brandon Spithaler, we did mention that he was at Williams Grove for night one and night two. He had a really good run the first night, qualified 12th in flight B out of I think there was like 29 cars in that flight, so he timed really good, and then he was in the A main and they ran it during the day because they got fogged out that night, so they ran it during the day and the next night, and I forget why he pulled off. I think he just didn't have the car just wasn't set up for how the track was, and he just decided just to pull it in and you know just kind of save his equipment and stuff. And then night two for the actual national open didn't go quite as well, but he still got some experience on the track and was able to load the car back up in one piece. So, but he was out there representing Western PA very well.
yeah. Talk about more wrecks. Sheldon Hodgenshield at Lincoln the other night.
Yeah,
He really stepped on it.
yeah, leading, and then like a couple laps before that, he kind of banged the wall some, and I thought, oh, he might be going there then, and then I mean, I got it on footage, the his actual flip, like a lap or two later, and it was, it looked a lot worse in person. Watching it again, it was kind of seemed slowed down and stuff. It didn't seem like as bad as it wasn't in person, but that's the second time I've seen Sheldon step on it while leading. Um, Back in 2017 at a Silver Cup, I think he was in a 93 car back then. He stepped on it at Lernerville there at the Silver Cup, and Donnie Schatz was in second, ended up winning that night. Who was in second place at Lincoln Saturday night when Sheldon flipped? Donnie
Donny
Schatz.
Schatz.
He
Wasn't
also won.
Darren was Darren Pittman there
No, he was at
in
Williams Grove,
Texas? Okay,
and
and
then
then
yeah, then he
Texas.
was in Texas. But he had in the last 4 races Pittman ran, he had 3 oh, there's a wreck. Let it roll back. Yeah. Uh, I guess maybe it's because I've seen it so many times it doesn't look too bad, but it's still pretty damn good wreck.
Good one. Smacked the fence a good amount.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw you had a Twitter post today. Uh lem oh I won't pull it up, but he basically just said about like, people on the internet can be pretty rough or something, and he posted the Teddy Roosevelt quote saying about the man in the arena type of
Wait,
thing, and
can I back you up a second? Did you just say Teddy Roosevelt or Titty Roosevelt?
Teddy.
Okay. Get your mind out of the gutter, Colton.
Hey, I said Teddy. You're the one that, anyways, the point is, he's getting crap for, like wrecking and stuff. And I'm like, uh, dude, the man in the arena thing fits perfectly. He's out there to entertain us. He drives, he's one of the drivers that drives the hardest out there. And he's there he puts on a show night in, night out, whether he's winning or he's flipping. I don't care. I love watching Sheldon Hodgenshield run the hard line, just like his dad, up high, on a curb, on a cushion, against the wall. I don't care. I'm here for Sheldon Hodgenshield to kick ass and take names. And of course, sometimes he flips, but who cares? He's a badass and he's awesome to watch.
Yeah, I think he'd rather win, but he's also on a massive NOS sponsorship, so I don't think he's really hurting money-wise.
Yeah, and he's got a really good team, like the Stenhouse Marshall team. And then, you got people that know the other NASCAR, well, one of many NASCARs, the 7BC of Tyler Courtney, is owned by Clausen Marshall Racing. The Marshall and both teams are the same people, so, they've got plenty of money. So, you know, don't mind watching them put on a show and maybe junk in a car or two there and, put on a good show, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, so while we're on that topic, let's talk about a few driver moves. I think the biggest one that hit last night was James McFadden uh, not returning to the Roth Motorsports car full time next year, staying in Australia for most of the year.
Yeah, that's been a rumor for most of the racing season. I feel like it's not a too surprising, but it is kind of sad to see because he's a gasser, and he's one of those guys that's fun to watch because he gets up on that wheel and puts that thing on a rail and just goes to work out there, and it's it's gonna be weird not seeing him race. But I mean, I the reasons why he's not, it's for family, spend time with his wife and his son, and you can't step away for any better reason than that. And he's still gonna, it sounds like he's gonna race maybe full time in Australia still, like,
Hmm.
and then come over here for some races. And it sounds, Dirt Tracker Daily today, he said that it sounds like uh James, he's gonna be able to hop in that Roth car, in a Roth car anytime he wants to. And that's really cool to see.
Yeah, and then not a driver move, but obviously Brad Sweet won his whatever seventh or
Six,
sixth
six.
consecutive championship. Who cares? Not me. But sorry,
Hey, you're
just putting
you're
it out
seeing,
there.
hey, you're seeing greatness. We saw Steve Kinzer. Well, I don't know if we actually saw. Well, no, he did win one of his championships while we were alive. Actually, I think multiple. But people saw Steve Kinzer win 20 Outlaw championships. They saw Donnie Schatz win 10. They saw Brad Sweet win 5, and then now a high limit championship. I mean, you just gotta like, you want different guys to win, but it is also awesome to see greatness happening and like now, and not like 20, 30 years. You can say, yeah, I saw Brad Sweet race while he was going for his, well, we saw him the past couple years, I think, race in person. So it's like when we saw him win his fourth, fifth, and sixth championship or whatever. And that's just cool. It's just like Kyle Larson, people are getting tired of him winning, but it's awesome to see the greatness. I mean, he's getting compared to Mario Andretti and AJ Foyt, two absolute legends in all of motorsports. So it's very cool to see um us or have us see guys, obtain greatness.
You know, Colton, I'm gonna pull something up that is the definition of Brad Sweet for me. Just give me a second.
You're just mad that Rico didn't win. That's all.
I'm not mad that Rico didn't win. That's not the whole thing. It's just that Brad Sweet races not very PG.
What do you mean? He's usually very. It's only to James McFadden that he doesn't race clean,
Yeah, well, you know, this right
and they're
here, this
buddies,
is
so
the
it's okay.
definition of Brad Sweet for me. Boop. Mm.
Hey, you want to pull up the one out of Selena Highbanks too?
What, Brad Sweet took him out?
Yeah, he took him out. Yeah, you didn't know that? I thought that's why you were getting all mad.
I get mad about a lot of things. Oh yeah, oh, look at that. McFadden's in the lead. What a surprise.
Well, he wasn't in the
Hmm.
lead the last time, but this one is looked more like a just a like a more of a racing deal. It didn't look as bad as the last
Well,
one.
you know, if we're gonna compare all this, uh,
Yeah, yeah, because back when you were, complaining about J Mac,
oh man, Lernerville.
the Silver Cup.
Yeah, this is it. Oh, is this
Yeah,
no?
no, you can show the Spitballer one if you want to, and that was a nasty one.
We'll just we'll just watch this highlight. Corey Day ripping the curb.
Honestly, I thought he was gonna give Rico some trouble at the end later on when Rico was running. I thought Corey was gonna track him down.
Yeah, he was good. Not as good as the other time, but he was good. There he goes.
That dude, that was nasty.
Yeah,
I was probably one of the scariest wrecks I've seen. Well, I didn't see it and really see it a ton in
saw
person. Like I saw
dirt.
towards the end. Yeah, Dirt TV, John Conley, no, cameraman for
Yeah.
Dirt TV. He does Dirt Vision stuff over at Sharon too. He caught that whole thing and that. Go check him out on like TikTok and Instagram and stuff. He posts some really good clips of racing.
I'm sad they didn't show Brandon's interview. He's just like, yeah, that was a hard one.
Dude, he Brandon's a guy. I hope he gets a full time, like gets an opportunity like AJ Flick did,
Yeah, he
and some
deserves it.
top stuff. I mean, dude, he just I thought they like skipped ahead and skipped over the
No,
wreck you're crying about.
I'm not crying about it. He just
Well,
took him out.
you were there. You were.
That
Well,
was all.
I never saw this one.
Are you
But
serious?
no,
Rick
I've
has
never
a,
seen the replay. I saw that he was, I saw he ended up like that.
yeah, I watched that one unfold.
I was like more in turn three. I mean, you'll be able to see me here in a little bit. The only one in the vest right there. Oh,
Ran into his
uh,
lane.
that wasn't that bad.
It
The
wasn't
way
that
you
bad. Just ran into
the
his lane.
the way you and Devin were acting that night. Oh, jeez, you guys would have thought like he like murdered somebody or something. Jeez.
Hey man, just upset me.
What?
That's enough of that. I said it just upset me.
Oh, I thought you were telling me that it sent me. I'm like, huh?
No, upset me.
Yeah.
Let's see. Feel bad for Brandon. Great guy. Hey, no one, yeah, a little bit of karma for McFadden for his shenanigans in the heat race. That was true
I
because
don't know.
he pitted Tim Schafer in the heat race earlier.
The look at the one where it says I'd be waiting at Days Holler if I was silent. Yeah, I haven't seen him there.
Oh man. Yeah, any other crazy comments?
I never
Nick.
knew Bowser from Super Mario competed in a sprint car race.
Oh God. Corey Lynch, or yeah, Corey Lynch. Corey Day doing Corey Day things. Rip Lynch. Hey, look at that. See what that says, Colton?
Yeah. Um. I got so I'll tell you off air or something. Yeah.
Hmm.
Actually, I'll just forget about it. It doesn't matter.
You gotta tell me now. Can't leave me hanging like that.
Well, I'll just send it to you in here, and then don't say it. Just react to it. Um.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah. Well,
It's all right. They got a cute dog now.
dude, did you see never mind. I'm not gonna keep talking.
I saw the photos.
But yeah, dude. Oh, now it's one cool thing was at Williams Grove how the picture of Jacob Allen and the one of Logan Shearer I took that Shark Racing shared them both to their story, and they started following us on Instagram. I thought that was pretty neat. I mean, Mr. Tim Friedhaber though, he got Corey Day to share his photo of Corey, so
I did.
that's very cool.
It was a pretty cool photo. Should I pull it up for our viewers that haven't seen it?
I mean, sure.
Okay.
Go check our Facebook and Instagram if you want to see more great photos by him. And, TikToks like that Sheldon Flip. They're also on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. So, go check out all that good content. I also apologize for slacking on making TikToks lately. I've been burnt out. So, I
Hey, you
mean, hopefully.
made one the other night. So
Yeah, it was easy though. I just had to find it, clip it, and then 6 seconds worth of content right out there.
yeah,
But
sorry. Continue talking while I try and find this photo
yeah,
that I
yeah.
misplaced.
So I know people probably don't care, but I'll say anyways. I've been to my goal. One of my goals in life when it comes to racing is to hit 100 different racetracks. Doesn't have to be just dirt. And I'm currently at night. Well, I'm doing it a little bit different than the Race Chasers group. It's a website, great website, a lot of great, interesting stuff. Doing a little bit different than the rules. I'm counting flat cart tracks from our personal list. But if I ever go to try to be on that actual list, I will have to have 100 tracks that aren't flat cart tracks. And but regardless, I'm at 19 tracks right now, 19 different ones. Um, Pretty happy about that so far. And so I went to Dog Hollow. Was that I can't remember if that was before I think that was after the Clash, or no, no, that was actually before the Commonwealth Clash. I went to Dog Hollow Speedway. Um, Northern Cambria, PA is where it's at. It's very much like Lernerville. Yeah, high bank. There's actually no wall like besides on the front stretch like at all, and like it'd be pretty nasty going over the top there. Um, I could see it being a real good racy place. Saw 305s there. Our former guest, Jarrett Rosenkrantz, he was there. He finished second, had a great run. Um, and then I also two more new tracks I've been to, which are like bucket list type tracks for many guys when it comes to racing, is Williams Grove. I went there with or I went there for the National Open, and I got to see two features there because of the makeup from the night before. And then I also went to Lincoln Speedway this past weekend for the Outlaw show there. Um, both very cool places. I want to shout out Rick Rare of SprintCarNews.com for letting me ride with him. It was the ride was just as cool as going to the tracks. He showed me some of his he kept most of his media credentials and stuff, and he showed me them on the way there to Williams Grove, and they were like really cool, a lot of really cool ones. And then he this past Saturday he brought some like programs and stuff, some Williams Grove programs. Oh, I can't remember. There were some sprint car annuals, and then there was this one. Oh, I can't remember. I hate that I can't remember what it was called, but it was really interesting. I looked at it probably like 3 hours, or like I looked at it like most of the way there. And it was just like covered mostly like Western PA tracks and some Eastern Ohio ones and stuff, and just had like the tons of pictures. Had like the point standings from the year before for the tracks, and like the location, had like the name of the owner, promoter, flagman, all that, announcer and stuff. Had a bunch of photos of like really cool action shots, and it was just a really cool um program magazine type thing. And it's something that sadly didn't last very long um being produced, but and it'd be awesome if somebody made those again today with that much info and just a ton of photos.
What time did you guys get back from Lincoln?
Okay, so I'll backtrack it to the
Williams
Williams Grove
Grove.
trip. So we left like a half hour to an hour before the feature was done, and that because it was going super late and stuff. It was like midnight or so, or something like that when we left, and then we didn't get back until we got back to Rick's place at like, I want to say like, no, 5:30. I want to say
Damn.
something like that, maybe 5:36, something like that. I think 5:30, and we took we did stop and take an hour nap at a rest stop because we were both pretty dead. It was a long day out in the sun, and it's like 3 in the morning and stuff. And then I didn't go to bed that day until like 7 because I didn't get home till like 6 or 6:30 or something like that. Um, that was rough. Slept from 7 to 11 that day. Woke up so I could go. I only slept that long so I could go to bed that night and go to work the next day. And then um this past Saturday, Lincoln's actually like an hour and a or no, not an hour, half an hour to 45 minutes farther away than Williams Grove is for us. And we ended up getting back at 4:20.
Oh,
Wait, no,
nice.
no, 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 no. We got back at like 3:50 to Rex, and then I got home at like 4:20. And then I went to bed about 5. Then a little after 7, I woke up with a calf cramp, and that that was awful. It's still I can still feel it a little bit today, and today's the next day. Like um, I don't want to do the math. It's 7 p.m. the next day, so like 36 hours later. I just did the math, so you know. Anyways,
Thought you didn't
and
want to
then
do the math.
I know it was a lot easier when I wasn't trying so hard. Um, then I drank some water and stuff when I had that calf cramp, and then I went back to bed till 10 o'clock, and then I got up and just enjoyed the rest of the day, and finally put out the Sharon, the footage of the Lou Blaney Memorial from at Sharon, which was Dave Blaney's last one, which was really awesome to see. I guess we should talk about that too some.
Yeah,
Um,
you were there. You talking about?
yeah, and then I did that TikTok and oh, and I did edit some photos and put out from my Lincoln trip, but still need to do the Williams Grove footage here soon, and eventually do the Lincoln footage as well. But going back to Dave, or I actually showed a photo of Corey Day if you have it pulled up, since
Yeah,
that's why I was the only one talking for so long.
yeah, I have both. Um, Let me just do it like that. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. I just had to, lean my head forward. So yeah, zoom in on that.
Looking right at me. And
Yeah.
then the next day I got this photo too.
Oh, I didn't see you post that one.
I don't know
Maybe
if
I
I don't know if I posted this.
eventually we're gonna eventually I'm gonna update our website, and then we're also gonna figure out the best way to do albums of the photos we've taken um and put on there.
I mean, yeah,
I
like Facebook limits us to like 80 photos, but like in a
And then
given,
Instagram does 20, limits us to 20 as well, so
yeah, I
it
mean,
gets
but like
even less.
in a given night, I'll take anywhere from like 400 to 900 photos. Obviously, half of those are shit, but I'll use about 200 of them.
Oh, I take a lot of photos as well, just from hot laps and like some pit walk photos as well. I probably take too many photos for what I'm shooting, but I'm like trying to get a good one of every car, so just that have it banked and stuff. And that Lincoln, I had a couple guys where I did not get good shots of, so I kind of failed there. But I and then I get usually about like 50. Well, if there's time trials, I'll probably get like around 50 videos. And
Yeah,
well, it just kind of depends on how many cautions and stuff like that. But I mean, get quite a few usually.
yeah.
But um,
But yeah, so moving forward,
I'll head on to Lou Blaney Memorial some.
yeah, we'll
Yeah,
support our friend Devin here.
yeah. D Goody Photography. Go check him out. Um, check out his dad's stuff at SG Trackside Media, and check out Devin's brother, who we had on as a guest, Brandon Goodman. Check out his photography as well. I think it's just Brandon Goodman Photography, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
I hope so.
But but all three of them take very excellent photos. But I didn't know, nobody knew besides probably Dave and his wife,
That
and
hit,
like Dale,
yeah,
his brother, and like so like just his family, I think, like are the only ones that knew he was going to retire if he won. And I guess in the Wing Nation interview done a few days later, he said that he would have done it a couple years ago too had he won. And then he said if Dale had won, Dale would have done the same thing.
retired?
Yeah. If Dale would have won, he would have retired.
Well, damn.
And I mean, it's honestly that's the best way to go out, winning your dad's memorial race and then retiring. That's the best way to retire. Um, it's it was the first time I saw Dave Blaney win, in person, and so now it was cool to see that his last win in his last race was the first time I saw him win in person. I've seen him run a few times in a sprint car in my life. I remember growing up him being in NASCAR and stuff, and it was really cool. And Dale, his brother, was my favorite car driver when I was growing up and stuff. So and his dad Lou is a local legend. I mean he's like the guy when it comes to Western PA sprint car racing. Along, Ralph Corson is up there as well. But it's just, I mean, you could just tell, like, being there, like when he announced it and stuff, like, well, just when he won, you could tell, like, the crowd and stuff, they were just so happy to see him win and stuff. And then you could just tell, like, right away, he was kind of like, he was emotional and stuff. And you just, I mean, you could tell it meant a lot to him. And, being able to do that, and, you know, just how much racing and having it as a career really meant to him and stuff. And it was really cool to see, and like just like the crowd reaction to him and stuff. And Jim Ballantyne, he's a great photographer that, very, very lucky to have met him, and talk to him anytime Tim and I both talk to him anytime we see him at a track and stuff. He's also the PR guy and announcer at Mercer, but he's really close to, he like has a close connection with the Blaneys and stuff. And like you could just kind of tell it meant a it hit him, like in a special way, like hearing Dave say that he was like retiring and stuff. And you could just tell, like, that environment, that how much Dave and the Blaney family meant to that, just all those race fans. It was, I don't know. I gotta go to every Lou Blaney Memorial now, just in case Dale wins, so I can be there for his last race as well. But so hopefully I don't have to go to like 20 of them before that happens. But I will if I have to.
You really think Dale Blaney's still being racing in 20 years?
No,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm just saying, like, I'll go to him. Almost spilled my drink. I'll go to him as many times as I have to, just to have that possibility and stuff. But it was a really good race too. And him retiring afterwards kind of explained, he was a little more aggressive than I've seen him race before. And he was running the high side when he loves to run the low side. So like when said he retired and stuff, I'm like, that this is all kind of making sense why he was a little more aggressive, going on the high side and stuff. But it was very neat and special to see that. And I'm happy to hear that he's planning on running his car some next year. He doesn't know who he's going to put in it, but he's going to have it run. I'm imagine it's going to be kind of more like local, probably like a similar schedule as he's had, just maybe a little bit more racing. I'm not sure. Um, Probably more, because Sharon did announce that they are going to run more 410 shows next year more consistently. Um, Probably going to be weekly, I imagine. Um, I guess to kind of transition away from the Lou Blaney Memorial, um, Tim, what are your thoughts about Sharon announcing they're going to run 410s more on a more consistent basis?
Um, I mean, my first thoughts were that it's a good thing. But I mean, it's like you said, there's not a lot of sprint cars. I mean, there's a good amount of competition in the Northwest PA, Ohio region, but there's not a lot of cars. Now, there is a lot of cars that run at like Attica and Fremont, but Sharon's far from both of those tracks. And
Yeah, but
it's
I think it's just like 2 hours or so or something like that. I think it's not too crazy, but
yeah, but
Fremont.
if you're already running at like Fremont or Attica, you're probably not going to go to
Well,
Sharon. They don't
if you're
run the
running,
same days either, but
Fremont runs on the same day as Sharon.
okay.
They both run on Saturdays. So, and they also have the AFCS series, which I think
Hmm.
that's like 20 races, 10 at Attica, 10 at Fremont or something like that. So like guys, that pays very well, so they commit to that. And then if you win like all three championships, you get $30,000, I believe, which is a lot of money, real good money. Um, and I I talked to Rick Rare. I asked him what he thought. Like on Messenger, I kind of messaged him and was like, when it was announced, I'm like, what do you think? He's like, or I said, what do you think they're gonna, like, this means weekly, bi-weekly? He's like, probably weekly. And then I asked him I said, "Oh, what do you think Mercer and PPMS will do since they run on Saturdays and they like to do like 4 to 8 410 shows a year, kind of just thrown in whenever they can. They used to work with Sharon to find days, but if Sharon's running weekly, what are they going to do to try to run 410 races? And it seemed sound probably both of them would like to run 410s a little more. And Rick said, I forget what he said exactly, but then I said about like I don't think there's enough cars. And he said, well, you don't know, it might bring out some more. So I mean, who knows? We might see some more guys jump up into the 410s here in Western PA, and you got Sharon's probably going to be like 4,000 to win, 400 to start, I imagine, like they were this year. And then you got Tri City paying like 3,000 something win, and Lernerville's still at 2,000 to win. But like there's gonna be some good paying races. So like guys like even throughout the field, so guys are might look to be like, hey, I can go and make like $300 or $400 or whatever, running like 20th or whatever, instead of making whatever it is in a different class. But
Yeah.
I don't know. And guys might just run Sharon and Tri City because they pay better and not go to Lernerville, which might help pressure Lernerville into raising their purses and having it being better paying and stuff. And which it'll suck because it'll suck in the sense that not all the classes at Lernerville will get their purses raised. It'll probably just be the 410s, maybe the late models, but I imagine the late models probably won't because most tracks that run super late models weekly in Western PA, they probably paid similarly to Lernerville, like 2,000 win or even less.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't know. It'll be interesting. Um, I don't know. I speaking on tracks running full time or I guess changing their night. I really hope that Tri City stays with Sundays because I don't think they're gonna be able to compete on Fridays.
Yeah, then who did somebody told us that was a rumor. I can't remember who it was,
I
but it doesn't matter. But was it Fridays or Saturdays? I think you're right. It was Fridays.
think it was Fridays.
Yeah, because I think whoever a couple people that we talked to that said either heard that rumor or were saying it. I think it might have been the same two people at the same time or two people at the same time talking about it. That like you can't. They're not going to be able to compete with Lernerville. Like a lot of the cars are from like the Butler, Sarver area, a lot of the 410s that are in Western PA, and then it's like, they work, and then the track's like, 15, 20 minutes away from the shop instead of like an hour and a half. And then just Tri-City, you'd be running against more tracks. Like in Western PA on Sundays, there's three tracks that run weekly on Sundays. Erie's, Tri-City, and Bradford. And all three are far enough apart that doesn't hurt car counts for each one. And they all run different divisions than the other ones. I think the only thing that they might share in common are
Stock cars.
yeah, pro stocks for Erie's and Tri-City. And I think Rush Late Models are at Erie's and Bradford. I mean, Bradford's does a lot of the classes that a lot of people do not care to watch, like go,
Damn, Colton.
get food and stuff.
Just really saying that, aren't you?
Well, it's sad but true. Like I wanted to maybe go there this year once or twice, and it was like one was like a weekly night that I think that Monday after was a holiday, so I was like I don't have to go to work the next day, and I think that was the only reason I thought about going that day. And then the other time was they had the ULMS series late model series on like around the 4th of July
Mm-hmm.
weekend. So then that was the only overtime because I'm like super late models there. That's better than, bang
Bang
bangers
bangers.
and,
I knew that's what you're gonna say.
like, you know, it's just, uh, I like any type of racing for the most part, but I will admit I am an elitist. I like the cars that go fast. the most. But I mean, I am down for Apple Fest 100 Pro Stock race coming back to Tri-City Raceway Park someday. That is a cool race. I mean, 100 lapper, that is cool. But
Yeah, I would agree. I
I
mean,
I I digress.
yeah. Speaking on Tri-City, do you think they're going to put new clay down this year?
That's a rumor, and everybody hopes so. They posted they were doing something by like the pond over
Yeah,
in 1 and 2,
I think they
and
made
I'm like,
another pond.
yeah, it looked really, it looked kind of like a swimming pool, not like how
Yeah,
like
I mean
clear it was.
there was like I could probably find the photo. There was like a diving board or something.
I didn't look. I just had to make sure it was actually in turn 1 and 2 because I've never seen the track from that angle, and that I just
Yeah, here, I
oh
have it pulled up right here. Yeah, whatever they're doing.
no, not dude. That looks like the like a little like a paddle like uh
Yeah, there's a paddle
like the
boat,
yeah I and that
and this looks like sand.
yeah
Jet ski racing? I don't think so, buddy.
yeah I think somebody said something about I remember the one comment was something about
Bumper boats.
uh shoot, what was it? They said about doing like boat races like down at 2 Mile. I'm like, I don't know if they know how big that pond is.
They've done it there. They've done boat races at 2 Mile though.
No, no, I mean at Tri-City though. Somebody
Oh,
was saying like boat races like Tri-City.
yeah, I don't see that happening.
Uh, But I don't know. I don't know if I want to know why why are they doing I don't want to I'm gonna have an aneurysm or something because I'm like, why are they messing around with like a paddle boat and creating a new pond and not making the track like focus on the track and just
Hey man, you know what? This is the only thing I'll say. With another pond, you can get another water truck. Now, if the water truck actually works, that's a whole different story.
well, the
But
one water truck didn't work. I think they had two, but only one worked.
yeah, well, the other water truck doesn't even, it's just like mist water. I don't know. It's been a whole hell of an experience being at that track the last 6 years. So, but speaking on tracks, Pennsboro is opening back up the weekend of October 24th. I think it starts the 23rd,
No,
runs
it's the
24th
24th,
to the
25th,
26th.
26th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ULMS,
and XR
UEMS, right?
series. No, I don't know. That they do have modifieds, but it's the XR Super Series, I think is what it's called, and the ULMS series are co-sanctioning it. Trevor Zuver, I think. Is that how you say his name?
You better hope it is.
The owner and promoter of ULMS. Seen on his personal Facebook account that he like seems to work a lot with the XR Super Series. So that like them co-sanctioning it makes sense. And I think ULMS was supposed to have a race there earlier this year as well. So did Fast, but those I mean they had a tough road to hoe earlier this year with getting a track back. A lot of Weber hurting the being able to work on the track and stuff. So it's cool to see it coming back. Um,
Yeah, they were doing
see how it
something there
races.
today, like put a new water line in or something.
I don't know. I saw they were putting fencing up recently.
Yeah, I'm looking at the fencing right now, but in the video, the track looks really destroyed.
Well, it did just rain too.
That is
Well, I
true.
think the fencing was before it rained up here, so I don't know.
It
But
hasn't rained down here too much.
oh, then I don't know why I'm saying it rained down there because isn't it like an hour south of you?
Yeah, like
There-
southwest of me.
Okay. Yeah, Tim and I talked about going there. It was his idea. Now he's like saying, "Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna go." So
Hey man,
I don't know if I'm gonna go.
there's a
But
Halloween party that weekend.
we'll just go the 25th, man. I told you I'll go to 25th with it to you. Stay at your place, and then I think I'm gonna go to Blanket Hill the next day on the 26th for their end of the year show. I've never been there, and it'd be cool to watch micros. I've never seen micros race, so
Just
that was my
depends.
plan.
Just depends on what day it is. That's all I gotta say.
Well,
You can shake your head all you want.
what are you doing Thursday night?
Well, I teach in the morning, so
Hey, them kids probably need a sleep in too, so you know, well, just
I thought you were gonna be like, fuck them kids.
hey, hey, we try to keep this PG or PG-13 at least.
Sorry,
So
frick them kids.
more like flunk, give them all Fs.
Oh God, I can't do that. That'd get me fired worse than saying fuck on a podcast.
Yeah, probably. I heard, well, you're not a professor yet, but I have heard lots of professors swear. I mean, I had one drop the mother effer, and but he was a cool dude, and it was like a like English is lit type class or something where we had to like read plays and stuff. So it was he was just to be like, you gotta like just you know like read the get into the acting or whatever. I don't. That was he was a cool dude and probably my favorite class just because he was cool and dropping mother effer every now and then.
Colton, it's all right. We're almost an hour into this. There's probably no one listening at this point.
Hey, Rick, if you're still listening, send us a message right now. Or anybody still listening, send us a message on our Facebook. What
Put it in
actually
the
don't not
comments.
just put it in the comments and then message us on our social media too if you want. I mean, we're not against it. Our personal accounts or the podcast accounts, it doesn't matter.
We're not going to
But
give you anything because we're both broke, but we will give you satisfaction of still listening to us. We'll
yeah,
shout you out in the next podcast.
yeah. I mean, we might shout you out anyways if you know, we're friends with you and you're in racing. We might like, we shouted out Jarrett Rosenkrantz, Rick Rare, and the Goodmans, as well as we already talked about Brandon Spithaller being a gasser. So to transition away from the Tri-City talk and Pennsboro talk, let's go to how Brandon Spithaller is a Fast Series champion, back to back, baby. Congratulate I can talk. Congratulations to him. It was very awesome to see that he pulled that off. Um, it's can't wait to see how he does next year. I don't think he's going to be running fast next year. I mean, he'll be really good next year, like he is the past I don't know how many years. So just good luck to him next year, and congratulations again.
Yeah, PA man wins it. He is PA, right? Yeah,
Yeah, Butler.
yeah.
Also want to shout out a guest that we had on last month. I want to say Leighton Wagner won the Wayne County uh 410 championship as well. He actually won it like the week or two before we dropped his episode or something like that. Like it was like the weekend after we interviewed him, he was going to be racing for the championship and he ended up securing it. So congratulations to Leighton as well. Trying to think. I want to say that's pretty much all the guests we've had on that secured a championship so far this year. Um, but yeah, it's been a good year of racing so far, and we got plenty of racing left. There's still quite a bit going on around the area in PA. Um, like clear up till November 16th. Uh, Paps has a 410 race out in Central PA. Thinking about, thinking about going to that as well. But we got racing clear up till probably like Christmas almost. because the Gateway Nationals are also in December.
Maybe maybe our friend Ryan Montgomery will get an amazing video at the Dome again.
Yeah, that, and maybe we'll have to have him on again. And maybe this time with better lighting and that. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was kind of rough.
That's okay. That was in our early stages. But you know
No,
what?
we didn't. I was over at Jayla's house, and that's where we were recording. And
Don't drop her
they didn't.
address again because I don't want to edit it out.
I'm not dropping her address. Anyways, we were recording there, and she didn't have any power, so I was using her hotspot to to connect to my laptop to the internet, and that was the only lighting we could hit. So we made it work. And plus, hey, just listen to the audio version if you don't like how it looks.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, today I don't even have a camera because I'm a moron and left them both at school. So,
Yeah.
but
See,
yeah,
all that college education is good for.
definitely not dirt racing. But
Well, it depends on what you go for.
what degree are you gonna get in college that'll make you a better
Like,
dirt racer?
br- well, not a dirt racer, but like you could go for like a broadcasting or journalism or something like that. And go into like try to go into working for like Flow or Dirt Vision or Dirt Track Digest. um you could
Oh
even go
yeah.
like the asphalt track side, like try working for like Fox Sports for like the NASCAR coverage, or NBC Sports or the Athletic. There's ways to get involved in racing and use a college degree.
Yeah, that's true.
There was
Sorry.
some crap. There was something I was gonna say, but I can't remember it. Oh shoot. It doesn't matter. The next topic, we don't have the topic list, so I don't know why I said that. But you got anything? Oh, I have a Tanner Holmes diecast. I never told you that.
Wow.
And
Are you a Tanner Holmes meat rider now?
no, I'm not. I just enjoy him, and I'd want to, like, how many diecasts of guys that are like basically like us trying to get started on YouTube that make it somewhat off of YouTube. How many
I
guys can I get their die casts of?
That's fair. I think he's made it on YouTube though.
And I just want to point out, in the box, he had a signed picture of his car. He signed it. And
Yeah.
then he also, I took the car out of the package, but he also signed the package.
Wow.
And I didn't even pay that for like the extra signed stuff. He's just like, honestly, he knows how to build a fan base and take care of them. Like, just like, I imagine he probably sold hundreds of those, and he had to have signed every single one just like that. And just like racing and then doing the YouTube and the editing, and that just, I don't know. That just made me think. I already thought very highly of him, especially with how he seems to interact with fans and stuff. But then like the getting that stuff, like, I'm like, this guy, he knows how to like get fans and keep them, and like just he's a man of the people. That that's all. You can't argue with that.
I'm not arguing with you.
I know. I'm just saying, like, like no one can argue that he isn't. He's obviously a pretty good guy if he's willing to sign stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I've heard Danny Sam's his stuff, like different things with his merch. Like he'll like send a beach ball or like sign stuff, or like Danny Sam's the third also does stuff like that. Which brings us, which taking us back to earlier in the podcast. It's a rumor he's gonna go on the Outlaw Tour. He's been driving in some different rides. than just the one he's been racing the past couple years and most of this year. So, but I don't. It'll be interesting to see if he makes that jump in his own stuff or not to go on the Outlaw Tour. But there's quite a few guys that are rumored to be going out on tour, and a lot of ride changes rumored, and there has been a lot of announcements as well, which we didn't touch on. Jason Pursley going into the Buick 13 car because Justin Peck is leaving that car. That's a case of the announcement for the replacement came before the announcement of the driver leaving the ride.
Well, I mean, it wasn't having a great year, so
He's sixth in points in high limit or something like
yeah.
that. There's seventh, six or seven for something like that. He's had a good year. He's just had bad luck the past two, and it seems more like he wanted to change it up and get like a new change of pace and stuff. The rumor is he's going into the CJB number 5 car. And Spencer Baston, who is in that car, who's been on a tear lately, a lot of top fives. I think he's had like 5 or 6 top fives in a row. He is rumored to be going to um the Jason Myers 14 car, which Corey Day is in. But I heard that rumor once, so I don't know how valid that is.
You think
But
Ryan Timms will go in the Roth Motorsports car?
that's the rumor. I thought I heard he was going to be in a Roth car at Trophy Cup this weekend, but then I guess he was entered in his family-owned car for that race. But Roth has 2 entries for that race and no drivers announced yet, so it could still change. Um, which that race is like one of the biggest 360 races other than the Knoxville Nationals out there in um California, maybe. I think it's California. I think it's at Tulare, but a lot of big names. Rico's gonna be there. Zeb Wise, Corey Eliason, Tyler Courtney, all the West Coast guys. Like Tanner Holmes is probably gonna be there as well, which I saw a while ago. Continuing on the topic of guys changing up what they're doing. Months ago, I saw a Facebook post that Tanner Holmes was looking for a shop in like Iowa or Indianapolis that had like a loft space to like live in, that like a shop to, like rent. So he looked sounded like he was probably trying to look to either make a move to the Midwest or travel out to the Midwest and stay out there and run a bigger Midwest schedule than what he has the past few years.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, I don't know. He's getting good. He had a really good run, and he had a pretty good run in the Outlaw Shark Car. Um, but he's said it multiple times that like racing in Ohio, racing in PA, New York too, like it's nothing like racing on the West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of those Cali drivers, West Coast drivers, they do very well at like Attica and Fremont and Lernerville and like tracks kind of like that, where it's like up, kind of like cowboy up, on the edge type of tracks, like where you gotta like run a dangerous cushion and stuff.
Yeah.
But like that, and it seems like they take longer to adapt to like half miles, like the bigger tracks, because they don't have a ton out there. But they still end. There's a lot of them that still end up doing very well. I mean, Larson is just a freak, but Brad Sweet, he's done well at big tracks. Macedo, he's done well. I mean, he's a 2-time National Open winner. I mean, Crown Jewel. Um, Buddy Koford's had some good runs on the half miles. Some Rico's good at Knoxville, Eldora. He's good at a Grove too. It's not. I think it just takes time. Um, depends on who you are, how much time it takes. But I feel like Tanner Holmes is good enough that he could be pretty decent at most tracks. I mean, he has ran some big tracks. I like when he was in the Midwest at the beginning of the year, he ran down at down in like Texas and Oklahoma on some different sized tracks. And then he's done well at Knoxville in the 360s. Um, Last year he did very well in the 360 Nationals, and he did well enough at the Knoxville Nationals last year that he was able to use that to jump in a Shark Racing car. So, I mean, he can make the adjustment. I feel like guys from the West Coast do a better job of I feel like a lot of tracks are more like that, like the West Coast style, like cowboy up on the edge on a cushion type. Um, and you don't have to there's not too many big tracks that like they have to worry about running at.
Yeah.
And uh, I feel like the Central PA guys sometimes have a more rough of a time transitioning to like different tracks um because of they're not as big. There's a lot of big tracks out in Central PA. Lincoln isn't a big track. It's kind of like in Lernerville. Like I think it's smaller than Lernerville, I do believe, but like it kind of runs similarly in a
Mm-hmm.
way. Um, but like other than that, I feel like it's mainly like big tracks out there. But but I say that and I'm like thinking like Danny Dietrich's pretty good at Sharon, and that's nothing like most of the tracks in Central. That's like nothing like Central PA. And he usually does very good in Ohio Speed Week as well. Macri's pretty good at any track he's been to. Um, Brent Marks is pretty solid, but he doesn't do it. He doesn't really do anything crazy in like the small bull rings. I mean, like Texas, that's a big track. Uh, Eldora, that's where he's also really good at outside of PA and Knoxville, big track. I mean, I don't know. You could go back and forth and stuff, but I don't know. I guess that's something we could really dive into if we wanted for like not maybe not a podcast episode, but just some YouTube content, like diving in to kind of find numbers to back up who adapts better to different styles of tracks, like, California versus Ohio versus PA
Right.
versus Knoxville because Knoxville also has a very strong contingent. But I feel like Knoxville probably guys probably could do better on bull rings because a lot of them run Husets, and that's a pretty high banked bull ring, cowboy up type track.
Yeah. Yeah. It's about all I got for today, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just starting to ramble, so I better stop while our one list. I don't even know if we have one listener at this point, but it's just so that guy can hop off, guy or gal can hop off the episode. But I'll wrap it up real quick. Thanks everybody for listening and supporting us. Uh, go follow us on all not all our Instagrams, but all our social media on Instagram, uh, Twitter/X, Facebook. We're on TikTok as well. Uh, Subscribe to our YouTube. Like, comment, and I guess I already said subscribe, but like, comment, and follow and rate 5 stars on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. You guys do that stuff. That'll help us get um put out in the algorithm a little bit more, get seen more, the more you guys help us with that and the more we get seen, the more stuff we can do, hopefully become like Tanner Holmes or the Hunt in the Front guys and just be able to just all we do is put out content and that'd be the dream. Keep, listening and all that stuff to us. And just most importantly, get out to a dirt track. Racing season's getting closer to being over in our area. I know there's still going to be racing like in different places. around the country depending on where you live. But just get out to some dirt tracks or even asphalt tracks. I don't care. Just get out to the track and support racing and just have fun and hashtag no flags given.